It began with a scream that tore through the quiet mountain air of Mason Ridge, Colorado. A scream so raw and chilling that even decades later, those who heard it would describe it as if it had never left their ears. It was August 17th, 1979, a warm summer night that started like any other. Crickets sang, the river ran lazily past the town, fireflies flickered at the forest's edge. Families settled into their routines, unaware that by sunrise, the world as they knew it would have shifted forever. Before the scream, before the panic, before the investigation that would span 40 years, there was only silence. A silence that clung to the skin, wrapping itself like a cold, invisible hand, making the hair on the back of your neck rise. The kind of silence that lives in places where tragedies are waiting to unfold. Mason Ridge was the type of town that never appeared on maps. Fewer than 1,000 residents, wooden homes with paint peeling in long, curling strips, a single elementary school, a grocery store that doubled as a post office, and the forest that began where the pavement ended. The locals avoided it, not out of fear of wildlife, but because it felt wrong. The trees leaned closer than they should, their shadows not following the sun, but twisting and elongating as though they had their own intentions. Old-timers whispered about the first settlers who claimed the land was cursed, a resting place for spirits angered by those who dared disturb it. By 1979, no one believed in curses, but instinct, as it often does, told some that the forest was a place to be wary of. Lily March did not care. She had long brown hair, eyes the color of summer grass after a rain, and an innocence that made everyone believe she was destined for something extraordinary. At 17, she excelled in school, had dreams of college, and a future painted in broad strokes of promise. She wasn't rebellious, didn't drink, didn't sneak out at night. That Friday evening, she kissed her mother goodbye and said, "I'll be back before midnight," and left for her best friend's house, only 3 blocks away. She carried nothing but herself. The night was calm, ordinary, safe. But she never arrived. Her mother waited, first until midnight, then 12:30, then 1 a.m. By 2 a.m., panic set in, and the police were called. By dawn, the town was awake. Residents joined in searches through fields, woods, uneven trails, and back roads. Search dogs, flashlights, and patrols combed every inch. All they found were Lily's shoes, neatly placed near a broken fence, almost deliberately, pointing toward the edge of the trees. Nothing else. No blood. No footprints, no signs of struggle, only shoes and the beginning of a legend. The police interviewed neighbors, friends, anyone who might have seen something. A scream was reported around 10:15 p.m., not a laugh, not a shriek of play, but a scream that one resident described as the sound of terror itself. No one saw the figure that followed her. Some claimed to see shadows shifting in unnatural ways. The evidence was slight, insufficient. The case would go cold if not for a single witness. 10-year-old Sam Turner lived 2 streets over and claimed he saw Lily walking with a tall figure behind her. He didn't walk like a person. He slid. At the time, the police dismissed it. Imagination. But that detail would matter later. Suspicion fell upon one man, Joseph Harrow, 32, a handyman with no close connections who lived near the woods in a house that looked abandoned long before he claimed it. No alibi, sparse records. When questioned, his story changed, but he was careful enough to give nothing concrete. Police searched his property and found nothing tying him to the disappearance. But there were maps, countless maps of the forest, trails marked in red, circles drawn around places even seasoned locals did not know existed. Scribbled notes on the margins read, "It watches me. I hear it. Stay away at night." The police believed he was hiding something, but what exactly, they could not determine. Without proof, he could not be arrested. The case went cold. Years passed. Families moved away. The Marches left town to escape the constant reminders of the daughter they could not find. Mason Ridge attempted to heal, but the forest never forgot. Stories persisted. Hikers reported footsteps behind them where none should exist. Children swore someone was watching them from between the pines. Dogs refused to approach the fence that bordered the forest. And on some nights, people claimed to hear a scream, faint, distant, yet unmistakable. The scream that started it all. Decades later, in 2019, the case reemerged when Detective Eleanor Drake joined the Mason County Sheriff's Department. Young, relentless, and obsessed with unsolved mysteries, she could not stop thinking about one detail dismissed by generations of law enforcement. Lily's shoes. Why were they placed so deliberately, facing the woods, perfectly aligned? There was no trace of blood, dirt, or struggle. Shoes do not arrange themselves. Drake reopened the case against the advice of her superiors, despite warnings from the town that some memories were better left undisturbed. Armed with modern tools, ground-penetrating radar, digital forensics, and aerial drones, Drake entered the forest. She walked the same paths from which Lily vanished, feeling the weight of silence pressing on her, like the trees themselves were watching. In the soil, beneath twisted roots, she discovered a silver locket engraved with Lily's initials. 40 years buried, yet preserved. This find reignited the investigation. Investigators expanded the search. Using ground-penetrating radar, they located something terrifying. 2 miles into the woods, beneath rotted boards and fallen branches, lay a hidden cellar, a man-made underground structure carved into the earth. Inside, human bones, some ancient, some recent, clothing remnants, jewelry, photographs, ropes, and tools. Evidence suggested multiple victims, 19 confirmed. And still, Lily was missing. Among the relics, a journal was found, molded, water-damaged, but legible. Pages filled with notes and drawings mirrored the maps Joseph Harrow had kept decades before. "It watches me. I hear it. Stay away at night." The handwriting was manic, obsessive. The words described an entity in the forest that commanded attention, demanded sacrifice. Tracking Joseph Harrow proved simple. He had assumed a new identity in Utah, a retired painter living quietly. Interrogated by Drake, he confessed, not only to Lily's disappearance, but to multiple others spanning decades. Yet what he described went beyond mere human evil. He spoke of whispers in the trees, of a force compelling him, guiding him, instructing him whom to take. He insisted
He did not choose the victims. The forest did. Even after relocating, he claimed to hear the calls at night. Drake asked about the shoes. His eyes were hollow. He said, "I didn't," he said simply. Investigators verified his statement. Every victim's belongings were collected, catalogued. Lily's shoes were absent. Whoever arranged them remained unknown. The cellar was sealed, evidence collected, but not all victims were identified. Bones too old or mismatched to missing person files remained unknown. Mason Ridge was warned off limits, yet locals reported sightings. A tall figure moving between the trunks, sliding